Number 5. 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge Cartridge. While most people are aware of the Nintendo World Championships, no one really seems to remember the much less known Campus Challenge series of competitions Nintendo held across the US in 1991 and 1992. Held at several college campuses across the US, it was a competition much like the Nintendo World Championships, where you had 3 games compiled onto a single cartridge you had to play through under specific rules and conditions, with a score tallied up later with various multipliers. In this case, the games were Super Mario Bros. 3, Pinbot, and Dr. Mario. The only known copy of the 1991 Campus Challenge was found at a garage sale in New York City in 2006 and sold for $14,000 in July of 2009. The buyer then resold it 3 months later for $20,100. Number 4. Nintendo World Championship Gold Cartridge. Most people know about the Nintendo World Championship these days, but for those of you that don't, the Nintendo World Championship was a competition put on by Nintendo in 1990 where people would compete in 3 different Nintendo games, those 3 being Super Mario Bros., Red Racer, and Tetris, with the finalists competing at Universal Studios in Hollywood to determine the winner. 90 gray and WC carts were given away to the finalists after the competition ended, with 26 gold carts being given out as a special prize for a Nintendo Power giveaway. Prices for the gray carts are already through the roof, generally selling around the $10,000 to $15,000 mark, but the gold copies tend to go for well above $20,000, with the highest verified sale for $26,677. Number 3. Complete in Box Air Raid for Atari 2600. A truly obscure little game released in 1982 with an extremely limited distribution by the developer Minivision, and with probably the most bizarre looking cartridge ever. Air Raid is one of the most sought-after games for the Atari 2600, with loose copies selling for upwards of $3,575, and it only skyrockets in price from there if you're looking to get a complete copy with the instruction manual and original box, with multiple sales over $30,000 for a complete copy. So far, only 2 known complete copies are confirmed to exist, with the last one selling for $33,433 in October of 2012. Number 2. Factory Sealed Stadium Events. Probably the most well-known entry on this list, Stadium Events is largely considered to be the rarest retail NES game, and by far the most expensive as well. Originally released in 1987 by Bandai as part of its Family Fun Fitness line of exercise-based gaming, the peripheral and game idea were shortly thereafter bought by Nintendo, who rebranded it as World Class Track Meet and the Nintendo Power Pad. All copies of the game left on shelves were recalled and supposedly destroyed, with only, and again supposedly, 200 copies being sold before the recall, although the number is more than likely wrong. That hasn't stopped it from commanding insane prices, with loose copies alone going for well over $10,000 and complete copies going for twice that. However, the highest recorded price paid for a Stadium Events was for a still brand new factory sealed copy of the game in 2010, which sold for an absolutely insane $41,300. Number 1. NTSC Prototype Cartridge of The Legend of Zelda. Prototype cartridges are already an expensive market, even for game collecting, but despite their popularity, first-party prototypes of Nintendo games are actually very rare to see. So it should come as no surprise that a prototype of the very first Legend of Zelda on the original NES is the most expensive game ever sold. Unfortunately, not a lot of history on the cart was easily findable, and the fact that the thing still existed was shocking enough that it managed to get into the public even more so. But nothing is crazier than what it sold for in 2012, listed on eBay in October of that year at a price of $150,000, with open offers enabled. It was then later sold to an anonymous buyer for the small sum of $55,000.